Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with the Seldom Seen series, discussing Stepfather 3. The Seldom Seen series is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I discuss seldom seen, unknown, and often neglected movies. Sometimes they're standalone films. Other times they're remakes. More often than not, though, they're sequels, as is the case with Stepfather 3. Nobody ever talks about this one, and a big reason why is it's lost on VHS in the US. It has never received an official DVD, Blu-ray, or obviously 4K release in America. Stepfather 3 is a 1992 made-for-TV sequel to The Stepfather and Stepfather 2, Make Room for Daddy. Despite being made for TV, this VHS contains an uncut version of the film. But this isn't an alternate cuts video. This is the Seldom Seen series. This isn't a positive spin either, although it definitely would have qualified. People who have seen Stepfather 3 seem to hate it. Ironically, it's most criticized for things that Jason and I love about it. Stepfather 3 continues the story of Jerry Blake, originally played by Terry O'Quinn. He appeared in the first two Stepfather movies. O'Quinn was offered the opportunity to reprise his role in this, but he declined. Because of that, they had to revamp the story, and I think they did so brilliantly. This one opens with the stepfather getting plastic surgery. That explains why he has a whole new face, obviously being portrayed by a different actor. I've always thought that was so clever, because it truly makes sense. Being on the run after the events of the last two films, he would want a new identity. Robert Whiteman, who took over the role, does a fantastic job in this. Even his voice is so similar to Terry O'Quinn's. Again, it works so well for me. Now using the alias Keith Grant, the stepfather moves to a new town, gets a new job, and finds a new family. As a matter of fact, in this sequel, he finds two new families. The stepfather this time is not just a murderer, he's an adulterer. That, of course, offers a wider range of characters for the body count. Priscilla Barnes plays the stepfather's new wife in this. Her son Andy is in a wheelchair, which adds to the terror factor, in my opinion. That makes it much harder for him to get away and fight back. The stepfather's girlfriend is played by Season Hubley, who also played Princess in Vice Squad. She also has a son named Nicky. And now that I think about it, he and Andy kind of look alike. Then there's the local priest, who is close friends with Andy, and gets a little too involved in the stepfather's business. I also love that Priscilla Barnes' character has another love interest at the start of the film. He is also competing to be a stepfather. I'm sure you can surmise who wins that battle. While the previous two Stepfather movies had awesome autumn atmospheres, Stepfather 3 is set in the spring into summer. In fact, it's specifically both an Easter horror movie as well as a Father's Day horror film. I definitely feel it would have been a missed opportunity if one of these didn't take place on Father's Day. Sort of funny that it took until Part 3 to get us there. The working title was actually Stepfather 3, Father's Day. Stepfather 3, even with a somewhat longer runtime of an hour and 50 minutes, is entertaining from start to finish. Again, I want to mention how impressed I am with Robert Whiteman taking over the role. I'm just impressed with this movie in general. I think it's a great sequel. From the clever plastic surgery aspect to the awesome kills. They're much bloodier in this uncut version, by the way. You know, the kills in this one might actually be more gruesome than in the first two films. At least they are in this uncut version. There are a lot of cool scenes in a garden nursery greenhouse. That's where the stepfather works in this sequel. We get the classic song the stepfather always whistles, Camptown Races. That's another great connection to the others. Then I like Andy's investigation of the whole thing when he starts to figure out who his new stepfather might actually be. And the climax is super intense, especially for a made-for-TV movie. Overall, I think this is just incredibly underrated. But I guess it's easy to be when it's so seldom seen. It's a shame that this one is lost on VHS, because I do think the more people who watch it, the more who will appreciate it. Even without Terry O'Quinn, and with this being a made-for-TV sequel, it feels like a stepfather film. That's not always the case with made-for-TV sequels, but this one gets it right. It genuinely does feel like part of the same universe, and part of the franchise. And yes, it is a franchise, not a trilogy, because we got a remake of The Stepfather after this one. Stay tuned, because Jason and I might be talking about that one too, sooner than later. We had been wanting to discuss Stepfather 3 for a while though, and we're happy we did. You may not have even known this existed, but now you do. So hopefully, you'll watch it too. But first, please be sure to watch Jason's video to hear his thoughts on Stepfather 3. Have you seen this lost on VHS, made-for-TV sequel? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. Which seldom seen movie will we discuss next in this series? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.